Hello and welcome to another edition of the Dugout podcast. I'm Andrew and this is Marissa and we are on episode 20. Whoa.
Yay.
What's our fit?
I don't even know what was that.
Response is that.
I don't even know what was that. I don't even know what was that.
If you ain't excited, how you expect other people to be excited?
It's just I wasn't sure how to respond.
You didn't sure?
Yeah. You just caught me off guard. I didn't even know it was episode 20. But yeah, bigger ourselves.
Yeah. I think
Consistency.
I really think that this episode is going to be interesting because I think this is the first one in a long time, at least, if we ever did it, that we haven't really have any like dialogue in terms of we know the agenda, but we haven't went through. It's kind of like authentic in a sense,
Yeah.
right on the fly.
We winging it.
Yeah, we winging it.
How unprofessional.
But then maybe we shouldn't have said it.
Maybe not. Maybe not.
But nevertheless, it should be fun.
Yeah.
And we are starting with World Cup.
Sure.
Round up. All right. Game so far.
So we had on Sunday, Ecuador won 2-0 against Qatar. Yesterday, England smashed Iran 6-2.
Interesting. Why are you looking at me?
Because of that stupid group on your face.
Because I knew. Listen, I feel the pressure. Stop. Keep going.
Whatever. Netherlands beat Senegal 2-0. That was pretty a late win, late on. Well, we gotta talk about. Well, should we talk about that? Mandy made 2 errors.
Well, yeah. Wait. Right, the Senegal, the save that was kind of like right in the goal mouth, and then
she's done a million times.
The first one was when he came for a cross and then get there. Yeah, we can talk about that game.
Okay. USA Wales 1-1 this morning. The first shot, Saudi Arabia 2, Argentina 1. Denmark and Tunisia and Mexico Poland played out goalless draws.
Right.
And then France won this evening 4-1.
Okay, cool. So, first let's start with the opening game of the tournament. I think Qatar against Ecuador. I had a very, very interesting conversation on the eve of the game where, someone asked me what I, thought would happen. And sometimes I guess I'm a bit cliche with my predictions, but I was like, Ecuador should have been. Because Ecuador finished 4th or 3rd in the South American qualifying, I believe, behind Brazil and Argentina. I think. But they did quite well because they came through automatically.
Okay.
Because the team that would have finished 5th for the playoff would have been Peru, and they lost in their playoff to Iran, I believe.
Okay.
So I think that's why Peru's not there. That's why South America only has 4 teams.
Okay.
So I just was like, all right, if Ecuador did so well to, finish above Uruguay, then I expected they would beat Qatar. But I think a lot of the time people are guilty of buying into the, at-home support. Will kind of like, blow some winning sales and get you.
So somebody thought Qatar was going to win this?
They did. Someone predicted before the game began that they're going Qatar 2-0.
Probably shouldn't call that
I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to embarrass you person like that. But should they come on to an episode of our show, I will call them out on it. Okay. The North never forgets. That's a hint. That's a hint of who it is. But they often say that, right?
Oh my gosh!
But within 5 minutes of game starting, the person sent me a voice note. I was like, they can't already tell Qatar in a good. Like, you need to see a ball being kicked for you to know that.
Poor thing.
I mean, I think this is 22nd edition or 23rd edition maybe of the World Cup. And I think 21 of the previous 22 hosts have qualified from group. Have not lost their opening game.
Right.
And they have also advanced past the group stage.
That ain't happening this
There's only been one team that has failed to qualify from the group stage. That was 2010 South Africa. So having said that, I'm going to make a prediction. I hope it's not a grave or a hole, as you like to call it. But I believe that Qatar is going to break all the records this year.
I think so too.
I think that they'll be the first host nation to not only exit, well, they're first in that regard, but they'll be first host nation not to get a point in the World Cup. I believe, because the easiest game that they had in tournament was Ecuador. And I don't see them getting anything from Senegal. or from Holland.
Yeah.
Um,
Might not even score a goal either.
Yeah, I watched the game and I didn't like. I'm not sure if it was the occasion, but they looked kind of nervy in the first half for sure. Like the expectancy got to them a bit. So yeah, that's my takeaway from that opening game.
Okay, I don't have thoughts because I didn't watch it. I think by the time I got home, I probably watched the last 10 minutes. So nothing really much I could comment on really.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, next game that we could potentially touch on is England's victory versus Iran. I did not see that coming. I'll be first to admit. You know how I feel about Gareth Southgate's England. Actually, it's more how I feel about Southgate. Like I said, this World Cup is more of a test of him and his growth and progress as a coach. As I mentioned in our last episode, we've had 2 occasions where he has been found wanting in terms of technical notes and stuff like that. So there are greater tests ahead, but I don't think he could have asked for a better start, a more convincing start. I still believe that he would take the approach rather of based on the opponent that will kind of determine his lineup and his because he seems to try to study the opponent, and then everybody does it because you have to acknowledge the strength of the other team. But I think he has an overemphasis on the strength of the other team and trying to set up his team to nullify what he believes that team is good at or what they might do.
Right.
So I'm not getting carried away with the 6-2. But what the 6-2 but what the 6-2 has allowed me to do though is a kind of I want to give a bit of credit to the forward players from England. The Raheem Sterlings and the Bukayo Sakas. I know they were good. And I remember I said,
good too.
Yeah, and Kane. And I said before that England's strength is in the wide areas. But I guess I didn't realize that they were this good that they could dismantle the Iran team, who's in top 20 of the FIFA rankings and stuff like that. So I give a bit of credit. I think Saka is really, really impressing me. That Arsenal form.
What I would say though is I thought it watching the first half of the game. I mentioned it to you as well. I think that Kyle Walker's injury was a blessing in disguise for that game against Iran.
Right.
Me and you have had certain conversations privately, and I've told you I felt like England's best formation is either 4-2-3-1 or 4-3-3. And I feel like this game proved that. You have Rice there sitting, you have Bellingham and Mount who can go forward and do the dirty work in midfield if required. But it gives so much freedom to the forward line to express themselves, and you saw that. If you look at how England has been playing in the Nations League leading up with these same players, you haven't gotten this sort of free-flowing football because Southgate has largely been playing 3 at the back. So it's interesting for me what is going to happen when Kyle Walker is fit. Who is going to be left out, because there's no way he's going to leave Kyle Walker out. So my thing is that if England continues playing this formation, I think y'all can go far, but I don't think that y'all will. And yes, it was an impressive performance. Like you said, the forwards are really good, but Iran were also very poor on the day as well. Honestly, in my opinion. I mean, Saka's 2 goals were individually brilliant, but some of the defending at set pieces, Sterling's goal, I still can't figure out how Sterling managed to score that goal. But, positive signs from England. I'm looking forward to the USA game on Friday because USA had a really good first half against the Wales, and then they just tapered off in the second half. But I think USA have players that can hurt England. Right. But so I think that should be an exciting game. But hats off to England, they played well. I really hope I'm gonna come on this podcast and be saying that all the time, but
trust me, you won't. Okay. But I'm happy that you mentioned the Wales USA game because I watched the second half of that game, and and you said that USA kind of tapered off. I thought it was kind of the game kind of like ebbed and flowed, where there were periods where USA were on top and there were periods where Wales were on top to me in the second half at least. But I felt as if USA's problem would be, or is rather, decision making. USA got some really, really good positions, especially when Wales were committing bodies forward. and Pulisic and I can't remember the guy Arison, for example. Too often they pick the wrong pass or the cutback was not quite right, so to speak. And the goal that Wales ultimately got was a bad
decision.
Bad decision, exactly.
I don't know why you're tackling somebody from behind in the penalty box. That was always gonna be.
It was a rash decision, and again, like you said,
maybe the occasion.
And the occasion, I was saying it might be a bit of fitness in terms of at that stage of the game, late in the game, and there was a lot of extra time being played on apparently in both halves.
Like all the games.
Yeah, so far I realized, yeah. So I feel like that's probably what contributed to that, mental fatigue. But America, I think America will come and have a go. They have to, but not really have to, because Wales play Iran. Even if America was to lose to England, I wouldn't give up on America advancing, because I would fancy America to get a result against Iran. And I think England
Wales to get a result against Iran too.
Yeah, but remember at the same time, I fancy England to also want to beat Wales, as in because that's a sort of like local rivalry type of thing. So I expect that even if England win against America, England will still play a reasonably strong team against Wales, if just for the fact that they could be the ones to say we send them home. Seriously, I think the fans are going to demand that England, yeah. So I think and I think vice versa. If that was the situation on the other foot, I think that would be the same, because I think Wales would revel. Like, for example, if Wales happened to beat England in the final group game, regardless of what team needs what, that was a result that would live long in memory. That would make their World Cup.
So so who you think is gonna get out to the group in addition to England?
That's a serious question. All right, I can go with my gut. I have no idea. You know what?
Because we gotta start making some predictions.
Yeah, I am going to honestly, right. The thing is, right. I think America is a more well-rounded team.
I agree.
But there's something about Wales and Gareth Bale that they're just staying games and then find a moment.
Yeah.
So I am being very, very cautious about saying America will advance over Wales, but I will. Yeah,
I think they will too.
Play down the loop if it needs to.
I think they will.
Right.
Netherlands, Senegal. It was an interesting game.
Let's talk about your goalkeeper, man. Get straight into it.
Mendy boy.
Somebody wants to tell me that Mendy's the best. Not you, but somebody wants to tell me that Mendy is the best goalkeeper in the world.
I know it wasn't me.
Whee!
I know it was not
Chelsea
me.
fans, man. But
Chelsea fans aren't.
Sorry. You know what? Let me not spin that narrative.
Great.
I apologize. One Chelsea fan told me that.
I don't know what Mendy was doing. The first goal. When you come, you gotta get there though.
Yeah, if you come in that situation, definitely have to get there.
And the worst part of it is because when you look at the replay, you could see that a lot of Senegal defenders were kind of static. I thought they were static because he called. When they did the close up, you saw him audibly say mine. And I just felt like if you do that, if you come and you call,
right? If you're assertive and you call, you have to get it.
Get there. Yeah. And Mendy has been. Look, these two goals that they considered are similar goals I've seen Chelsea concede recently when Mendy is in goal as well. The pushing the ball, the shot that the guy took. I can't remember who took the shot. It wasn't even a strong shot.
That'd be Klassen. Right.
He just pushed
I would have
it right in the
expected him
danger zone.
to be at least push it further away from the goal bar.
But he does it a lot. Push the ball right back in the danger zone, and then I was just like, Mendy, oh my gosh.
Wait, sorry, Klassen scored. I think it was Depay that took the shot.
Somebody.
Yeah, I think it was Depay that took the shot.
And then he won. He's upset with the terms of the contract Chelsea's offering. He mad at what he gave because his form has tapered off. I think when we had the conversation, because you asked me if I thought he was the best. I told you I don't think so. Maybe at the time I would say top 5, top 6.
Correct. Which is where I would have put him.
Right. But no, it's like the form has just dipped remarkably. It's like, how have I gone from trusting Mendy so much to trusting Kepa in goal more than Mendy? Like, you just don't have the confidence. And I thought it was harsh on Senegal because I felt like the little bit of the game I watched, Senegal were playing really well.
Right.
They were solid enough at the back. Koulibaly had a good game, which is good to see. I know he's had a tough start at Chelsea, but I think what people need to understand is the injuries and everything. It hasn't been great to him. So It's good to see him playing well, but Mendy cost his team there though. I still expect Senegal to advance though, but
Yes, because Senegal play Ecuador in this Ecuador, right? Yeah. I actually think they play.
that Ecuador game might be a bit tough though.
Yeah, the Ecuador game would be a. I think that might be a decider. But they play Ecuador last, right?
I gotta see.
Check. I think that might be the decider. I would expect it to.
Yeah, it is.
Right. So great, exactly. So I watched most of the first half, right? Because that game played during my lunch hour. But I agree with you. I thought Senegal were getting their approach play. They got into good areas. They looked threatening. There were times where Netherlands looked a bit stretched, and Van Dijk had was remonstrating with some people. As Ismail Sarr had looked like a real threat as well for the first half that I saw. So, and the game was none for a long time, which means that Senegal was in the game. It was
Up
a
to
close
like
game.
The 83rd minute.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, like you said, the 2-0 result will be harsh on them, but mistakes can make or break. You can't at this stage, you can't have your goalkeeper after putting in such an effort.
Yeah.
Have your goalkeeper.
It's deflating.
Exactly.
It's
Make
deflating.
you come on stuck.
Yeah.
And I also worry, even before the mistakes that you mentioned, I also worry about Mendy and his ball skills with the ball at his feet.
Yeah.
Because he's susceptible. He's not confident. He's susceptible to making errors as well. So that'll be something to look out for.
I just don't know what happened. You could tell me what happened, Terry? I just don't know.
I don't know either. I mean, like I said, when you said you had him like top 5, top 6, that was the same position I had him in too, in terms of if I was evaluating keepers. But I'm not sure, but I saw that he lost his place to Kepa, which I'm not surprised about. Not because I'm not saying that Kepa's better than him or vice versa, but I know that Kepa's better than him in one important facet of the game that Graham Potter wants to play, which is out front and back. But if Kepa's your man, so I did expect that would have happened eventually, and it happened, really really quickly. So
yeah. Anyways, sorry about Mane as well. That's a big loss to Senegal.
Oh yeah. Yeah, because he was in the squad last week, and then a couple of days after they announced that.
And Benzema.
Yeah, Benzema
as well.
Right.
Such a shame.
Well, okay. Well, in terms of Mane, definite shame. Having finished
shame
runner-up.
for you.
Of course, but shame for the world. Having finished runner-up in the Ballon d'Or,
Oh yeah, top 1 and 2.
2, exactly.
Wow.
I mean, not Belgium in the last so long. So number 3 he might not be there too long.
I know so.
So a real blow, because I wanted to see Mane. Right now I think he's 30 years old. I really want to see Mane lead Senegal.
Yeah.
And I think that Mane would be a huge miss. I still think Senegal is a threat,
but
they're
they're less of a threat.
But Mane is their world class player. He's the one that you would expect at that little bit of quality that Ismail Sarr might not always have, for example, because he can be erratic and rash.
Yeah.
Right, so, yeah.
But just a note about Belgium. I was looking at their group the other day. Could be a bit tricky.
Is Canada who else?
Shoot, the page gone. I know it's Canada for sure.
Right, because that's their first game.
Can't hold my phone. Just want to embarrass me, man. It coming. Okay, so it's Belgium, Canada, Croatia, and Morocco.
Ooh.
I was looking at that group the other day. I was like,
I think they'll get through, because
but
Croatia,
the thing about it for me is that those are 4 decent sides. Belgium is a good side, but I think Canada got some decent players. Croatia, we all know their quality. Morocco as well has some decent players. I think it's a group to watch. I don't think it's going to be that straightforward for Belgium.
I still think Belgium go through, because I don't see. Okay, I think Croatia have some good players, but I think they might be a bit long in the tooth, if you know what I mean. At this stage, I'll be very surprised if they, do something significant. Just because age and the team, I think the squad might just want to freshen up at this point. Because we will accept that this a lot of their players probably last World Cup.
Yeah.
Then you have Morocco. I have not seen them for many a year, so I don't know what to expect. They're kind of an unknown quantity for me.
Okay.
So I'll take your word for it at their decent side.
I said I got decent players.
Decent players. Who players are? Hakimi. Well,
and I got Ziyech.
He come over retirement.
Well, he back.
Oh yeah.
I think he make it with the coach.
I completely missed that.
I actually missed it too. Until I
nothing was said.
Until I saw that he was selected, I was like, okay.
Nothing was said.
He made up with the coach.
Yeah, because he said that he was not going to play for him again. And I thought that was like.
And that was just a few months ago.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I didn't see any reports saying that he's Kamoka Ezel or whatever the case would be. Oh, great for them. All right, cool. I take your word for it.
Croatia should be interesting tomorrow morning.
Yeah. And the other team is Canada. And Canada's Alphonso Davies and who else play for them?
Gosh, the name's slipping me. Jonathan, somebody. I know they got good players.
But they had a guy, I think.
Let me find it.
Junior Hollett?
Tomori should switch nationalities and play for Canada. That's what he should do.
I don't think he's done. He hasn't already played like a competitive game for England.
I
think at least one.
No, he should though.
Exactly. But I think he actually may have played like a qualifier or something by now.
Just like that one, Callum Hudson and Doy turning down Ghana. He really should go and play for Ghana too. I saw that Tariq Lamptey. I know he's trained, but I saw that Tariq Lamptey actually switched from England to Ghana.
He did? Got sense.
I think that is a wise decision.
Yeah, I remember it being a discussion, but I didn't hear anything else about it.
I think it's a wise decision. He's a good player, but too many ahead of him in the pecking order.
Correct.
I can't find Canada World Cup squad, so they're making me shame. But I know they got good players. It could be a little tricky game.
I think I remember Junior Hollett as a Canadian.
Or am I thinking about the Canadian women?
Man,
I know Canada got some good players.
All right, we can always revisit it next week.
Yeah, we will.
Right. Next game will be the Argentina Saudi Arabia, I believe. And this is the last game we can talk about in terms of World Cup.
Oh, we could touch on France too. I have stuff to say about France.
I forgot about the world champions.
Of course you did.
How could I? But yeah, go ahead.
Saudi Arabia, Argentina. I mean, I saw this game was playing at 6 because apparently a few games gonna be playing at 6.
Some days and got 4 games. Yeah, I think more as well. So
tomorrow, I think right up to next week. Or something.
All games. Yeah,
that's a bit of a stretch for me. I need my beauty rest. Okay, so yeah.
Near what?
Don't stop.
I just asked the question. I didn't hear you.
You heard me.
I did not hear you fully.
Wicked. Anyways, so I told myself, I just get when I get up. So I got up about just after 7:30 for my devotions and stuff.
Whoa.
What?
That is amazing. Because I mean, normal people are up at 5:30, even 6 the latest, but 7:30.
I work from home.
Whoa.
I work from home. Why would I be up that early? Anyways,
a privileged child, isn't she?
Well, let's call it that. Let's call it privilege. Anyways, so then I decided to go and check his score. So Saudi Arabia was 2 up. I was like, what is this? So then I turned on the game. I caught the last 15 minutes, and whoa! I mean, I am actually disappointed I didn't get to watch the whole game. Like the way I saw Saudi Arabia defending, it was like. And honestly, were there a lot of like last ditch tackles in that last 15 minutes? I can't remember, but they were just really solid, really compact. They played with an energy and a fire. I was really impressed in those little 15 minutes that I saw, and I look back at the goals too, some really good goals. And I think that's why I love the World Cup. And I don't think it's going to be the only upset. I know everybody has all their brackets and who they think are going to top the group and who going to come second and who going to play in the round of 16. But I don't think it's going to be as straightforward as people make it out to be. Because I don't know about you, but I find international football is hard. Because you got different players coming together to play for the national team. And that's why you're not really seeing... I don't think we're really seeing a bucket load of goals so far.
Right.
We have 4 today for France, 6 for England. But I think international football is challenging. And I think when you got that band of brothers coming together, playing for the country, playing with a spirit, you don't know what sort of results the World Cup is going to throw. Eventually, though, the quality of some teams will show through. But watching Saudi Arabia today, it was exactly what the World Cup is about. And yeah, I still bet Argentina to get out the group. Who's in this group?
Croatia and
no,
sorry, my bad.
Is it Denmark? Denmark and France group.
Wait. See,
oh gosh, too many groups. Too many groups.
It's not too many groups. It's slipping. Mexico and Poland.
Yeah, Argentina should get out that group.
Right. I don't know what I was thinking. Mexico and Poland.
Yeah,
right.
Argentina should get out that group comfortably. But I just think it's a reminder that I do.
All right,
I watched Mexico Poland today.
Me too. I watched a bit of it.
I think Mexico and Argentina is going to be a regular game.
Exactly.
But I think I still fancy Argentina to beat Poland.
I fancy Argentina to beat Poland. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if Argentina beat Mexico. So, for example, you beat Poland, that's 3 points.
Mm-hmm.
Mexico beats you. That's still 3.
And they have 4.
Right.
But I don't think Mexico. In fact, let me not say that.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
not say that.
That's what I'm saying. Okay. So, although, okay, not to stray. Let me stick with the Argentina Saudi Arabia game first. That, really remarkable. I before a ball was kicked, I like many fantasy Argentina to win the game. And then don't worry, they got out of the game. Shot the chicken head like. It's okay. So it's all right. So I didn't watch the first half. I watched a bit of the second. I'm told that Argentina had 3 goals disallowed in the first half.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, apparently. In addition to the one that they scored. Right? I'm assuming that those goals were disallowed because of offside.
Okay.
And I'm assuming that the decisions were correct.
Okay.
Because, it's not like a big fuss over
I
this mistake. Exactly.
Yeah. I didn't even know that.
So, second half though, Saudi Arabia seemed like if they were prepared to have a goal. And, they definitely, to me, played a lot more direct. A lot of long balls, a lot of balls through channel. And,
they were confident.
Yeah, and Argentina seemed to, I guess for me, sometimes when you're the team that's more fancied, I guess sometimes when a team, stands in your face and doesn't back down.
You get rattled?
You get a bit rattled. And I felt like in that little 3 or 5 minute period where the 2 goals came because they were quick.
Yeah.
It seemed like Argentina were rattled and they didn't quite catch themselves. And then it's difficult to come back in a sense sometimes. But I felt the challenge that they had was that I didn't feel as if they were able to get Messi in the game enough in second half.
Okay.
And I feel I mean I remember I said that the Argentina squad is really balanced, and I'm not going to backtrack on that. It's a good squad, but from watching their midfielders at club level, like Paredes, for example, as far as stuff like that, I always feel as if those guys sometimes struggle to control a game and dictate it in a sense. So I know, and it was like more cases where it was like a detachment. It was like no connectivity between the midfield and the attack or the midfield and defense. It seemed like if somebody, and then as the game wore on, it felt as if somebody balls out going forward. We're kind of like hope rather than an expectation. It was more like we kind of like run with ideas here, and that's a worry for me.
Well, I wouldn't say it's a worry yet. Maybe they just got caught off guard by Saudi Arabia's tactics, by the passion, by the confidence. So I think their next game is probably going to tell us a bit more about them and their ambitions or how far they can go.
Well,
we're not writing them off yet.
We know their ambitions is to win. I'm not writing them off by any stretching imagination. But I'm saying that you said you expect that they will advance.
Yeah, I still do.
And I'm saying that result. Okay, the only good thing about that result is that Poland and Mexico drew.
True.
But when I look at it, like you said, I think because this just from a historic point of view, Argentina versus Mexico is never an easy game. It's always tight. I
watched a bit of Mexico today. They look like a good side.
I still think Argentina will win though. Yeah. Or sorry, will advance because for me, I think Mexico lack a bit of quality up front. So I think that might be a difference. And like you said, I would fancy Argentina to beat Poland. So I do expect a response, but I don't think it's going to be easy.
So that's what I'm saying about these people pre-planning these brackets. There's a possibility that even though Argentina may advance, they might not advance as group winners. And then they may meet somebody in the round of 16 that might skin them up. You never know. So that's why I say I think this group stage will have a fair few surprises left in store. For sure.
Yeah, but if I'm the Argentine coach, I think that was 36 games I beat him before today. I'm just saying, all right, get with the system.
Yeah, let's go again.
Yeah, let's go again. Let's start a new a new winning streak or unbeaten streak right now. If I'm them.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, last team to touch on is
France, Australia.
Mhm.
I was really impressed with France. Australia scored 1st,
Mhm.
really, really well worked goal, and it almost woke up France. Not like they were playing bad before, but it just was like unleash a beast. And this is a France side who, in the build up to Australia's goal, Lucas Hernandez went off injured. Benzema out for the World Cup and Kuku out. They have their injuries, they have their setbacks, but they were so impressive today. Giroud, no, joint all-time top scorer for France. Bigger Ollie. And Mbappe was really good. I mean, he probably should have had a couple goals, to be honest, with so many chances he missed. But France were really, really impressive, and I like what I'm seeing. I know, and this is a France side without Kante, without Pogba. I thought Rabiot has never been an impressive player to me, but I thought he was good today. I just like France. I think this was the game. This is probably the game that I've seen the most of since the World Cup started, and I enjoyed it. I thought it was a really good game. Australia gave a good account of themselves too. For one, seems like Australia were bad, but I don't think they were bad. I just thought that France were really, really good. Dembele had a really great game. Yeah, they impressed me. And the kit, oh gosh, France kit is just beautiful. I just had to ease that in. Honestly, that was my one regret about not being a French fan. That I can't go and buy the kit, but they always have the best kits.
Can't go bad.
No thanks.
Just you. I mean,
I don't
no,
support
you can't.
France.
It's not about listen. It's not about supporting or who doesn't support.
What
Like,
shirt would I get?
I know many people who wear kits just because they like the look, they like the colorway.
I don't do that though.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, it's not.
Arsenal got good kits.
you committing treason.
I would not like wear Arsenal.
It's not different.
Is it?
Yeah, but I don't. I mean, like for me, like I would wear a German kit, but I would wear other kind. I would wear France shirt. I would wear a Brazil shirt, for example, just because I think it look nice. You know what I mean? And again, it was somewhere where kids would be.
Cool.
And if someone asks, that happened to me already. Actually, time I had on a Real shirt, and someone stopped me and was like, said something about Real Madrid. I was like, oh, I don't back Real. And the disappointment on their face. Disappointment on their face, Marissa. Look, if looks could kill, but such is life. I mean, like I believe that, it's just a shirt in a sense. You know what I mean?
All right.
So, yeah. I'll prove it to you. One of these days I'll come on here, I will wear a shirt that is not a Liverpool shirt. That is not an English shirt either.
Look, here you go.
Not that. You will be, bringing too much. It won't be Man U either. Something that I can stomach.
Anyways, what were your thoughts on the game?
Right, my thoughts on the game. I agree with most of what you said. I thought France were good. I see that they favor the left hand side with Mbappe in terms of building their attacks and the overlapping of the full back. They were good. I thought Tchouameni in midfield was impressive. First time I really got to see him play, so I like the look at him.
Honestly, him and Camavinga in that Real Madrid midfield is just a cheat code. Like, honestly. Anyways, go ahead.
Yeah, they were quite good. I was also impressed. Well, surprised. I'm not sure if it's because of injuries, but I was surprised to see Konate and Upamecano as the centre back partnership.
Me too.
My boy Ibu, big him up. But
maybe Varane isn't fully fit yet.
No, definitely he's not. But I was surprised to see those two as a pair, and I thought they did quite well. But again, I'm being measured because I know you said Australia were good, but I always felt like
okay.
I know that. Oh, sorry, you said they were okay.
They weren't awful.
You said 4-1 flattered. No,
I
did flatter France, but
I would say that 4-1 indicates that they were awful, but I don't think they were awful.
Okay.
They were okay. France. I just thought France's quality showed through.
Sure and true, right? And that's the point I'm coming to. Like, I'd be measured because, again, I don't think Australia has the quality in their ranks to really trouble any, incarnation of the French team right now. So, it wasn't a surprise. It wasn't a surprise. And it was a really big pressure either because although Australia to lead France, was ahead by halftime. So it wasn't a case where we got to and then you started to wonder, could this be another upset? And you did. That never really materialized.
Yeah.
And to France's credit, they never allowed it to.
True.
So I thought Mbappe was really good.
Yeah.
But yeah, again, French team again, a sterner test, lay ahead for sure.
France Denmark should be interesting.
I think Denmark has a recent victory over France, right? I'm pretty sure.
I heard today they beat them like twice this year or something.
I think it's the initial league,
something like that.
So that'll be interesting, but I still fancy France.
Yeah, I still fancy France for sure.
I don't think Denmark has the quality in their ranks
and in depth.
Because
honestly, France depth is amazing. Yeah. Honestly, their bench. You got Varane, Camavinga, Kingsley Coman. These are players that can come on and change the game.
They have a very deep squad.
It's mad, and this is without Benzema and Kunku, Hernandez. No, like his brother came on, and it was just like, did they even miss him? It was really amazing, really impressive sight.
Again, I think if France are to be beaten, it will probably be a combination of a good team and good tactics. When you would need a bit of luck as well. You might need to catch them on an off day. Yeah. To get them. But yeah.
Germany kicks off tomorrow.
They do?
Yeah, Japan.
I really want to see Germany. Well, that's the clock, right?
9.
Okay.
What's that going to say about my side?
Well, yeah, I actually might be able to watch that because I don't have any classes in the morning.
What's that you was saying about my side? Yeah, I really want to see my side.
I really want to see Germany. You know who I'm looking for to see make the debut? Two teams. Or sorry, made an entry in the tournament.
Who?
Actually 3. I want to see Spain. I want to see Brazil.
Spain don't excite me.
And I want to see I just want to see Spain.
Spain, Brazil, and who?
I want to see Portugal. Because that could bring me to my next topic. But go ahead. If you want to add anything.
Done.
You done? Okay. So, but question though, before we move off the World Cup. Last week you said that you wasn't really excited. Are you feeling it now?
I get in there.
Get in there?
Yeah, I get in there.
Tomorrow will be the crescendo.
Probably if I get to watch it.
The Germans as they make their entry into the tournament.
Can't be any worse than last night, right?
Leroy Sané and Musiala and the boys.
Yeah.
Well, what happened last time, yeah? Oh yeah, you remember group stage. But you look at me
like
so
that.
Listen, right? Thing is, right?
If you didn't remember,
I honestly don't remember. I had to think about it for a second. But the thing is, right? I don't know what you so peeved about because you have lived through the national team that you support. You've lived through them winning a World Cup.
It's true.
You've actually lived through them making a final, well as winning the World Cup.
Yeah.
You understand? So like you've been fortunate. I, on the other hand, I've had to live with 56 years now of you win a World Cup since Barbados had independence. You remember that primary school joke? You back England?
Oh my gosh! Wow.
You win a World Cup since this or that. You know what I mean? So like, listen, don't take me on. Be chilled.
Whatever.
All right. But I mentioned Portugal, and today we have breaking news. There's been a very, very swift resolution, might I add, to the saga at Man U between Cristiano Ronaldo and, his former club, They've agreed to part ways by mutual consent. So my first...
like a soccer manager.
Well, firstly, did you see any of the interview?
Nope, I told you I wasn't gonna watch it.
So you don't watch any at all?
No, I got time to sit down and watch him Paris Yabber.
Okay, whatever, fair enough. Okay, I don't know. I'm a little bit surprised at the swiftness. I'm not surprised that it ended that way. I thought we would have more heard. I thought we would have been more likely to hear the resolution at the end of the World Cup towards its conclusion. Maybe even when Portugal made their exit, if they they don't go deep into it. but it basically took him a week, and I'm surprised at the speed, in which it came about. Not surprised by the end result, Although for me, like I said, stranger things have happened in football, but I guess, like to me, the big issue with what Ronaldo did, because I think any of the remainder of the interview would have been fine, but he was very, very strong. I'm deliberately so, in the sense of I don't respect Eric Ten Hag because he has no respect for me. Right? That's how he feels, rightly or wrongly. But I think, the whole perception in football, especially in England, especially among former players, for example, is that the one thing that you don't do is you can't disrespect the manager. And especially Man U players. And, he must forgive them. They play under Sir Alex, who that, for sure that would have been the case because he had like the sort of Godfather vibe. But, I think Cristiano, I guess you could argue that it's disrespectful to say that about your boss, have no respect for them or whatever the case may be. But I think at the same time, I'm not sure he meant it as disrespect. I just think it's just him being honest.
Yeah, and he knew what he was doing.
Yeah, because he wanted to leave.
And he got what he wanted.
Correct. And I believe that he will find a landing spot.
Just
regardless of how the World Cup goes.
Interested to see where that would be, though.
That would be interesting. I will make no predictions.
We should have.
We watch that space.
Yeah. And then quick after that, the Glazers announced that they're open to selling Manchester United.
To the delight of Gary Neville, I assume.
And many, many Manchester United fans.
No, because the gym has not changed. Nothing has changed.
Jacuzzi the same.
Still the same.
I find the timing interesting. I saw a lot of people online saying that, Ronaldo kind of sped it up. But I actually think that this goes back to Liverpool's announcement a few weeks back. I think there's a lot that has been going into this decision. There have been rumblings over the last few months, but nothing really concrete. But I think they actually released a statement. I'm not sure what it says, but interesting times ahead. I mean, we know it won't be a quick fire sale. Chelsea's sale was quick because it had to be quick.
Yeah, it had to be quick, yeah.
But I don't think any potential sale of a club like Manchester United is just going to be like done in a few months.
Right, unless the Blazers are determined to prove that they really don't care. Because if they
toss it to whoever comes.
Exactly, because if you sell the club so quickly, it means that you haven't done due diligence in finding a suitable person to take it forward. Yeah. So unless the Glazers are tired of the criticism and want to be like, all right, Gary, all right, all wanna, we really don't care. We just set this trash mob businessman over here, like sent bankrupt. Unless that's the case, let's hope it's not. I think football needs a strong Man United.
Yeah.
It's
the
better
Glazers,
for it.
What nationality are the Glazers?
American.
Well, I hear they may sell to American investors. Gary Neville may. Can't say what I want to say on air he would do, but
listen, though, but I feel like what, yes, some owners are bad, but I feel like in Premier League, I feel like once a team isn't doing well, the owners, inevitably get a flat. But it's what it is. Yeah. We'll see what happens with Manchester United going forward.
Yeah.
But what I really want to mention, or what I really want to talk about in regards to the Ronaldo departure, is what are your thoughts? I'm going to share mine after you, but what are your thoughts on his legacy at Man U, his time? Does this change anything?
I don't know. I don't think a 90-minute interview should tarnish what you achieve in 346 appearances for a club. And I think any Manchester United fan that remembers, because the thing about football memories, people are very what's that word when you only remember recency bias, right? I find a lot of people have recency bias, so they may remember the last thing, which is obviously the interview and how it ended on a sour note. But I still don't think it should overshadow all you've done for the club, all he's done for the club. If I was a Manchester United fan, of course I will be upset at some of the things he said in the interview. But ultimately, does that change all the goals you scored, all the match winners you scored, the impact you had, like the impact you have had on players? So for me, I don't think that. I still think he should be considered a Manchester United legend. But maybe that's just me looking from the outside.
Mm. First thing, you said one thing there that I want you to expand upon.
What's that?
If you were a Man U fan, what about the interview would you be upset with?
Mostly I guess the disrespect towards the new manager. Because as a new manager, I don't think Ten Hag, obviously I don't know the inner workings of Man U.
Right.
But I don't think that Ten Hag has been there long enough for me to be like in agreement with Ronaldo.
Right.
I think he has, what I've seen from Ten Hag from the outside, he's managed the squad well. He's managed a difficult start well. And he's done an admirable job. And I don't think I would like, as a Man United fan, my club legend coming out and saying those things about the manager. Because it's like, but he's new here. I can't just be like, yeah, Ronaldo, you're right because you're a club legend. So I think it's that. I think if I was a Manchester United fan and I know how they feel about the Glazers, I would 100% be behind Ronaldo and what he says about the Glazers, because those things that he's saying. It's okay for people outside the club, pundits and stuff, to say those things, but coming from a player who was there before, who knows how it was like way back when, and seeing how things are now, I commend Ronaldo for standing there. I commend Ronaldo for saying this is not where this club should be. So really and truly, it's only the Ten Hag comments. He said some stuff about some of the players as well. About not only at Manchester United. I think he said that he find a lot of young players today don't really want to learn.
Right.
And feel that they have it made. I mean, let me be honest. We've seen some young players have that attitude, but I think that would kind of annoy me as well, especially if I like a lot of the young players at my club. But as I said, I haven't watched all the interviews, so based on what I know, those are the things that would annoy me as a fan.
Right. So, let me try to unpack this quickly. Firstly, I agree with you. I don't think that a 90-minute interview or a 2-hour interview or whatever the case may be should tarnish, Trina for appearances from Man U, what he's done, what he's won. 3 Premier Leagues, a Champions League. He won the Ballon d'Or at Man U for the first time. And also overall in the game, it shouldn't tarnish, his legacy in that respect. He's still a Marder great, still a Premier League great, still a Manchester United legend. Arguably their best number 7, right? Arguably. In terms of the interview itself, and as a Man U fan, if I was a Man U fan, like, to me, fans' perspective is always kind of like skewed towards the team's current predicament. So I'm telling you, if Eric Ten Hag
was doing
a terrible job, or what people perceive as a terrible job,
right,
Ronaldo will have more support. So if I'm a Man U fan, the only thing that I'm upset about is, the timing of it, and the potential that it might have had for dressing room and harmony.
But the timing of it was perfect.
No, I mean from a Man U perspective. Perfect for who?
Man U?
He
could have easily released this in the middle of the season, then it would have had an impact on harmony.
No.
But he released it on after the final game that they were going to play together for at least a month.
No, what I'm saying, but I mean, they got rid of him, yes. But it could still have an impact because we don't know who in that camp would have been pro Ronaldo.
Well, considering he only named 3 players he liked.
I didn't watch you either. But we don't know who in that camp would have been pro Ronaldo, right? We don't know.
Sorry, not 3 players he liked, 3 persons he respects.
Right. We don't know.
Not misquoted.
We don't know. Who might silently have the same sort agree with Ronaldo about Ten Hag's approach, for example. So it's unlikely, but it will still be a worry. If I'm a Man U fan, I'm just like, all right, will this upset this season? Because at the same time, although they agreed to terminate contract by mutual consent, which tells me that they compensated Ronaldo for the early exit or the early decision to allow them to terminate the contract. Let's say, for example, they weren't willing or they didn't have the capacity to terminate the contract, right? Before and not pay him out, because ideally,
think he got paid out. Let me check it, but I don't think they say he got paid out.
They didn't tell you that, but I think if you're mutually consenting to a contract being terminated, you're going to receive some sort of compensation. I feel so. I feel he get some sort of compensation.
Okay.
I believe so. Maybe you're right, he didn't, but I think he did. So what I'm saying is that ideally what you want is that you don't want to, Because for example, even with managers, when you terminate a contract, mutually the manager still compensated.
True, but I
So I
just
think
tell
the
you
player,
what
I
I
think the
read.
player will still be the same. But
Okay.
anyway, regardless of that, if I'm a Man U fan, the only thing that I'm upset about is the potential, conflict that I may have brought about in the dressing room, right? But like I said, I think fans' perspective is kind of always skewed to where the team is, and I think right now Man U's, like I said, you're correct about Ten Hag. He's done a decent job so far because, and you're quite decent because not amazing, but you're quite
Yeah.
decent because
It was
they're
rough
kind
at
of
the
where they
beginning.
want to be, which is as a Champions League challenger.
And it was
right?
rough at the beginning.
And they had a shaky start, to the Premier League or what's not.
Yeah.
This season. So, in that respect, as a Man U fan, you're happy with where you're kind of like content, I should say, with where you're currently positioned, which is that you're just outside top 4, and you expect that you will maintain this challenge until the end of the season.
Playing decently.
To get it. So, yeah, I don't know. Interesting. But yeah, like you said, we'll see
I thought
where...
the statement was a little cold.
Which statement?
That they released.
Yeah, well, it would be.
Yeah, a little frosty.
He just criticized the whole club.
Yeah, a little frosty.
The other thing that I wanted to mention about when he said young players have it easy and they don't want to learn. I think oftentimes the challenge for great people is that when someone under their tutelage can't do it like them, they get frustrated.
Yeah, but that's not what he said.
No, but he ain't gonna say, he's not gonna articulate it that way, but I think that's what he means.
But he did say, when I heard it, he did say, like, they don't. He's like the first one and last one all at training.
Right, so that's what I mean. Like he's not gonna articulate it the way in which I understand it, but I know what he means. He's not saying I don't think he literally means. Okay, I think he means that they don't want to learn, right? But I think that's what he phrasing it. I think what he really means is that he doesn't see similar dedication and hunger that he had.
Okay.
So what I'm saying is that when someone's been as a great person, like if I'm Mozart or he's Mozart, and you're his student, if he doesn't see the same sort of, dedication to your craft and bettering it that he had, or if he shows you something you can't play exactly the same, it's a source of frustration. And I think that's what that is. I think it's more a case of Ronaldo saying, this is what I did to become the best.
Okay. This is what you should do too.
This is what you should do too. Exactly. So when they don't do it in the same manner, he's frustrated. He's annoyed. Like, what the hell? Why are you here? And I can't fault him because that has been the standard of Manchester United. That has been the standard of Cristiano Ronaldo himself. Because like you said, what got Ronaldo to the top was his desire to be the best.
Everything.
Exactly.
Attitude, everything.
Exactly. So when he's the first one and the last one to leave, and I ain't calling names because I don't know who, but other players that are younger, coming after him and leaving before him, and their game isn't half as good as his, he's gonna be like, okay, y'all taking the mick. So I think that's what that really is. I think that's just frustration in terms of he's looking at it as these guys are not as dedicated to their craft as they should be.
Maybe.
As a young player, y'all just I think so then you point to the fact, okay, are they content or they're satisfied with just being at Manchester United, or they're content with just being at a big club, and Ronaldo's point is, well, you haven't won anything, so I mean, I think ultimately Ronaldo went about it the wrong way because like obviously it's not something that anybody should do. Speak against.
He went about it exactly.
He wanted to, but it's the wrong way to go about something like that. But yes, he wanted. This is what he wanted.
Yeah, and he did it like this to get what he wanted.
Right.
So now he's in the shop window, and we'll see how much goals he could score, and if he could attract any Champions League sides that can afford him. Because that's ultimately what he wants. Champions League.
But I expect him to go to Champions League side. I don't think Ronaldo going anywhere else besides the Champions League side.
Just wonder who it would be.
We don't know. So let me look at the 16 teams that still in Champions League, and then you decide which one you think it will be. But he's not going to go anywhere besides the Champions League team.
Yeah, I agree.
So yeah, I honestly I don't even think it hinders on a good individual performance at the World Cup. I think it's Cristiano Ronaldo. Somebody's going to take a chance. It will help, but I think somebody will take a chance. The only thing that you could argue that might put someone off is are they going to be like, yeah, so If you don't get your own way across there, you got to talk
Exactly.
immediately. You can call back pairs
So,
for a second part.
that's why I think a good performance at the World Cup will help.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think that's it for football.
Yeah.
So
That could be it for the show too.
we have one more topic to discuss. I don't know why she's being so reluctant, because she definitely has more to say about it than I do.
Trust me, I won't have much to say.
But Nicholas Pooran has resigned as white ball captain of the West Indies limited overs teams, I should say, 50 over and 2020. And have they announced a replacement yet?
Not yet.
But we expect it will be Rovman Pole.
Rothman.
Rovman Pole.
Yeah.
Jamaican, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So Marissa, you're all right. Before you go, I'll give you the last word, since this is really and truly your forte.
I tell you, I ain't got much to say.
But I'll go first.
I tell you the West Indies.
So I heard the news from Marissa, that Pooran has stepped down. I didn't really pay any attention to what Pooran would have said after the last tournament ended. In such disastrous fashion, but
Being kind.
being kind. But my takeaway, my feedback, my response is simply, doesn't matter. Does it really matter who captains this team?
Oh, I love it.
I'm just being candid for a moment.
I love it.
Does it really matter who captains this team?
I love it.
I mean, I've lived long enough. We've had Richie Richardson. We've had Brian Lara. We have Shivnam Ray Chana Paul, or Tiger himself. We had Ramirez Sarawan. We had Chris Gill twice. We had Jimmy Adams.
Darren Sammy.
Carl Hooper
wasn't a captain.
Carl Hooper was a captain too. Yes.
Jimmy Adams.
We had Courtney Walsh. Listen.
Floyd Reefer.
Darren Ganga. We've had a lot of players, man. Jason Hoarder. Now we have Craig Braffett, who's still in the job. And we had so many captains that I probably forgot some names too.
It's true.
Did they cover everybody?
I don't know.
All right. We had Ray Jacobs at one point, I'm pretty sure.
Good old Ridley.
So, does it really matter? WICB. Pooran resign. Fair enough. Now, Marissa will get to her comments shortly. She has some thoughts on, whether or not he resigned or he was forced out. Who knows? But again, does it really matter? Here's the thing. West Indies cricket will only improve when there are changes to the system. Fundamental changes. We have to go back to grassroots level. Remember after Germany performed poorly in Euro 2004, Germany had like a football reset.
I don't recall that football that far back. I think I only start picking up on football 06. So.
But yeah, I'm telling you guys had a reset.
Okay.
You guys went and did a reset.
Should I do a reset after 2018? But
so we probably did that too.
We did
but when it gonna be good? Listen, anyway, point I'm making. I told you already that you're gonna leave your tournament feeling encouraged.
Yeah.
You need to listen to me more.
Right.
But anyway, yes, back to
if you wear, come on and wear that Liverpool shirt. Even better, I'll wear the England shirt. Continue.
Listen, the English shirt too good for you. We don't want you that. Anyway, but as I was saying, Liverpool shirt too good for you too. I will do that to you.
Oh my god.
But anyway, listen. Seriously, I got some shirts that that too heavy for you. You can't carry a weight on your shoulder.
Start you?
Just saying.
It's like
exactly tonight. I mean, fine voice. But as I was saying, as it pertains to West Indies, it's not going to change until we go back to the ground level and build and come up. You need to look at how our players are being coached. You need to look at our fitness regime, our facilities. These are things that need to be done to see gradual improvement. It's not a case, so it's seriously, I want everyone to stop thinking it's a simple fix of replace the captain, change the result. Yeah, it might be the same thing with a new manager at a football team. You might get a new captain bounce. Maybe. Sometimes the captain gets a bounce himself and his form goes up. But then inevitably, invariably, it will come back down. Because it's not, I assure West Indies fans, it's not a case of who's the captain. is a case of the players and the ability that they have, and getting them to somehow hone their talents, hone their crafts to a level where it's consistently, good. The performance is consistently good, and it has not been for about maybe 2 going on 3 decades, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. So like
Maybe even 4.
I don't know. I don't know what to say about the West Indies, but I watch as another one takes charge of the poison chalice, because I believe that's what it is now, a poison chalice, and I look forward. Well, next West Indies, some boy turning West Indies.
Next year. Our next assignment is next year. Are we going to South Africa or South Africa coming here? I'm not sure.
South Africa hasn't been here for a while, so maybe they're coming here.
But it's not for a few months, so.
I look forward to going to Canada. You ain't going to watch a day?
Actually, I wanted to talk to you about that. The West Indies women are playing England women at Kensington.
When?
In December.
Yeah, we should go watch. What I'm saying is that what I'm looking forward to about the men's game, though, right, it's going to be fun. Because I, as a little boy, used to like to go and watch and listen to guys cuss Lara. Lara's a good cricketer, but so a captain. The old man who say, when they got alcohol, make me laugh.
Still do that.
Let me skim him out. Exactly. I look forward to that sort of aspect. So I guess from a cultural standpoint, nothing will change.
Sure.
I hand it over to you.
So as you were talking, honestly, I agree with everything you say. I don't even need to expand on anything you say. I just want to add something. When Pooran was appointed captain, I wrote something on my blog. I wrote an article saying why I thought it was a good move at the time and everything. So this is how I ended my article. West Indies fans need to be cautious. The next year could be a tough one, as Pooran leads this relatively inexperienced side in the upcoming bilateral tournaments and 2 World Cups, which turned out to be 1 World Cup because he ain't make it to the next World Cup. There is no doubt he has the brains and the mentality for the role, but he will need the support of the board, his players, and the fans. In the meantime, there should not be an expectation that the side will magically start to see better results. For now, it will be another rebuilding phase for West Indies cricket. I said that in my article early in May this year, and I said that because I saw it. You have Pollard was the last of the so-called T20 and white ball goats that we had. So everybody in this side was relatively inexperienced, probably with the exception of Hope and Holder. You know how much times I told you I didn't feel like West Indies were going to make it out of the group. These results that we've had under Pooran's captaincy has not been surprising. And it's not because of him. As you said, the wider system, the pool of players we have to choose from, those are all issues. And we have this thing from the time we exited the World Cup. Shea Hope should become ODI captain. This body should become T20 captain. Like, all of a sudden, the man T20 results get translated to the ODI format, but whatever. My thing is that these are all reactionary. And I told myself, from the time Powell won CPL a few weeks ago, from the time he won the Super 50 over the weekend, congrats to Jamaica, by the way, I was like, I would not be surprised if I start to hear whispers that he's going to become the next white ball captain. Because we always looking for a savior. Powell win these 2 tournaments. He must be an excellent captain. Because let's face it, the Jamaican teams Powell has led, they're not brilliant sides. But actually, what regional side is brilliant? But that's a whole other debate. And I just had a feeling. I actually wanted Trinidad to win the final, which sounds weird as a Bajan. But I just had a feeling that result was going to have a significant impact on the captaincy decision. And quick, so I hear Pooran resign. Now, I am a conspiracy theorist. I don't know how Pooran, after he was so adamant that he was going to stay in the job, it was going to be a learning experience for him, all of a sudden, a couple of weeks later, do a U-turn. I know a lot has happened in those few weeks, but still, I am just not buying it. I believe that the West Indies were leaning towards this decision, and Pooran was spoken to. I don't know. I could be wrong. I could be making a fool of myself, but that's what I believe. He said something in his statement, though, that I agree with. He said he wants to focus on what he can contribute to the team as a batsman. And I really want him to do that because Pooran has not had a significant score since Bangladesh was here in the summer. And he's one of our better players. He completely dismantled our regional bowling in the Super 50. Only got dismissed twice. Had a ridiculous average of like 100 and something because he batted really well. And we need that Pooran for the West Indies team. We have too many batters that are inexperienced, aren't as talented, that don't give as much. So we need Pooran the batsman. Also, another plug to my article, something I said in that article too, was that we need Pooran the batsman who captains. Because remember, we had Darren Sammy, the captain, who batted a bit and bowled a bit. But we needed Pooran the batter more than we needed Pooran the captain. Mm-hmm. So hopefully we get back Pooran the batter now. And this is another reason why I do not want Shea Hope to be captain of the ODI side. Because he will inevitably face the same cutouts from the region when West Indies start to play badly. But like you said, nothing is going to change. Change all the coaches, change all the captains you want. Nothing is going to change unless systematically the system changes. I don't know if you saw, but they appointed this 3-man panel, Brian Lara, Mickey Arthur, and somebody else to review our exit IT20 World Cup. Mm-hmm. Who knows what that will lead to?
I mean, this must be a farce. Like seriously, when they say review the exit World Cup, what are they looking for?
I can't help you. I mean, to me, it's just fundamentally obvious. Like, we are treating this exit at the World Cup as if it's like the worst thing that ever happened. But yeah, it's the most expected thing that could have happened.
Exactly, because like we all knew that this West Indies team wouldn't have been genuine contenders for a trophy. So what is there to invest? Well, there's something to investigate. You should always try to look at why something went this way and how can we improve it. But the answer is playing as the players aren't good enough.
Exactly.
They don't consistently perform at a high enough level at this format anymore. And the game has changed. The game has moved on. So that master blaster, thing that we had going for us for the last decade, it's not working as much because although, there's a place for that, other skills come into play.
By exactly.
Other things come into play. It's a real shame about Pooran because he's only been in the job for like a year.
Less than a year.
Okay, see? Right,
it is mad.
So that's definitely not enough time for him to lay an imprint on the team. And also,
that's why this decision just seems weird.
Right, and I also like, again, when Pooran walked away, he would have, like you said, with the exception of Jason Holder, who's still quite young, but experienced in terms of appearances, and he's actually taking forward. Pooran was taking forward a very, very inexperienced team.
Exactly.
People who are literally learning on the job.
Exactly.
And the other thing I want to mention is, if what you are suggesting is true, then I don't understand it either, because why are we putting so much stock into Rovman Powell captaining Jamaican team to the Super 50 or whatever it's called? Because by everyone's admission, our original cricket or original game, the standard is not that high.
Exactly.
So like, yeah, I guess you might praise him for his good captaincy and stuff like that, but that's not an adequate barometer to judge whether or not this guy is a good captain or whatever case it be. And well, I guess we're expecting that he will be named captain since he's vice captain, but and then also like he was also guilty of in the same T20 of doing foolishness. So it wasn't like he was performing well. I know we said it is foolishness. I think like, listen, this reset. Look at how our players are being developed.
Yep.
Yes, we know that there's a lack of financial resources right now, but what can we do? What can we do to help this year? And what can we do for our regional coaches in our territories? You said they're setting up an academy or something like that, supposed to?
Yeah, they started it already. Some of the players actually played in the Super 50.
Cool. So these are things they need to look at, right?
Yeah.
How can we, improve our facilities, improve our coaching? How can we improve, and not only that job but coaching, how can we improve our data analysts, for example?
Yeah.
Review tape. How I remember I think I said in one of our previous episodes that I would like to imagine that we do. But is that really true? Because I always find that with West Indies, it seems a lot of the time the players are playing off the cuff and it's not necessarily playing towards a certain plan.
Yeah.
Especially when they're in the field.
Yeah.
So those are things I'm talking about. Those are things that maybe we can look at, to improve and gradually improve. I set a plan. So let's say this 2022, look at the tournaments over the next 5 to 10 years and say, for example, this is where we want to be in terms of competitiveness, and this tournament that that we want to target.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? And build a pool of players around that. I think that's the way forward.
And that's the thing. That's something that I had said in one of my articles too. The build up to tournaments. Like, how are you going to have a build up to this 2020 World Cup with a set opening partnership, and then you open in your first game with an opening partnership that you were not using for a whole year? The decision making behind the scenes, and it's not just down to Pooran either. Like, that's what I'm saying. I think that a lot needs to happen before our cricket gets better. And I mean, I just don't know what's gonna happen. I really like Rovman. I think he's a good player. I think he's a good captain, but I don't think that this is the right decision.
Listen, you can't listen. Rovman, Pooran, Shehope, whoever, it don't matter. It really does not matter.
So it goes back to your question.
You can't win with this team.
So it goes back to your question. Does it really matter?
Does it really matter?
The answer really is no.
No, exactly. You can't win with this team. You're gonna make some changes.
Yeah.
Not to the team, but to the team, yes. But you need to make some changes to how you develop the players and how you improve these players that you currently have. Because cricket, for what it's worth, cricket is a game like any other that you can improve your skills.
Yeah.
That you can improve your skill set. You can get better. And you know your team better than me. How many of our players, besides Azar Joseph, that I've witnessed, I can see that he has improved, have actually been gradually getting better? How many of our batsmen have? Well, Calmeers, I would say he has gotten better.
True.
But, to be fair with him.
But you could probably count them on one hand.
Exactly.
It's not a lot.
Exactly. Now, if I look at a different squad like England or Australia or what's not, even you mentioned Sam Curran and some others, we could look at them and be like, not a different man from when we first see him. Like, because we used to be like, what's all the fuss? But we could see that this guy has improved. This guy has gradually improved, has steadily improved, has sometimes rapidly improved. And you know what? And yes, I know England and Australia and South Africa, those places are bigger in terms of size, so there's bigger pool of players to pick from. Yes, that is true. But then that's another thing that we need to work on again, because we know that the Caribbean is not the same as it was before in terms of cricket being number one sport automatically. When we grew up, cricket was the one thing that everybody watched, everybody played. And that's not necessarily the case now. So then, all right, good, cool. But is the WICB and the regional authorities, for example, doing anything to, or doing enough, I should say, to get young people, children in schools, for example, children in communities, playing cricket? Is enough being done?
Sure.
I don't know. Maybe I'll do some research on it. I'll find out.
Maybe.
But those are things that I think the boards and the management need to do. Yeah. Before they can see an upturn. They start. I always feel as if, just for whatever reason, our cricket isn't as professional as the other nations are.
I don't think so either.
And that's the biggest handicap.
Yeah, it is.
Well, I look forward to going to watch your best with me. No?
Me too.
So let me know when you want to roll.
Yeah. I will. I'm looking forward to that series. I know we probably won't win because England is probably second best team in the world.
Right.
But I'm really looking forward to seeing. I don't think I've ever been to an international women's game before.
Neither me.
And I'm looking forward to it. Oh, who?
Remember there was a year when I think the first time they had the World T20 down here, where they had both games at the same time. Right, I went to I think England won Australia and England or somebody played the women's game, and then England men definitely beat Australia in the final. But I think Australia won the women's game too, I think so. Can't remember.
But yeah. So I'm looking forward to it because I really like the upturn that I'm seeing in women's cricket across the board. So I'm looking forward to it. So yeah. So that's it for me.
That's it from me too.
We said that this was only going to be an hour.
How long was it?
Like an hour and 15 minutes. But you know how it is when you get together with your friends and you talk sports.
It's true.
You can't control it.
It's true.
Especially when people like to stray and talk about all sorts of nonsense.
True. But stuff to look forward to.
Yes.
Since this is World Cup season, we at the podcast are looking forward to maybe perhaps getting a few guests on.
Yes.
Supporters of other teams, other nations. Should or especially probably run from the knockout phase.
I would say so,
yeah. Should have at least one episode with a specially invited guest.
Yeah. So stay tuned for that.
That will replace one of us.
Yeah.
I don't know if all three of us will be here.
Probably not.
So replace me. I don't give it.
It's fine. I will go. I will go.
So gracious.
You know, because most of them can make you buddies anyways.
They could be yours, buddies too.
I ain't got buddies that can come on and talk about football and cricket.
Okay. Well.
At least. Yeah, no. I only got you. That's so lonely though. Not only you as a friend, but anyways, I digging myself a hole.
What's no? You see me take my phone, right? All right, Marissa, keep going.
Oh gosh. Yes.
This has been fun.
It has been.
Yeah. So thank you again for joining us on another edition of the Dugout Podcast. Marissa's normally do she little wrap up thing. We used to talk about the handles and records.
Oh right, yes. Follow us on Instagram, the Dugout_podcast. Also follow us at our individual handles. You'll see them in the description below. And join us next time. What was that?
That thumbs up. Join us next time.